Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much to my subscribers. Welcome newcomers. I hope you like what you see, and if so, be part of this journey with us. We are one growing YouTube family. Thank you so much. If you also like the video, please give a thumbs up. It helps to circulate the video worldwide and people get to recognize our video, our group, our family. Thank you so much. I also would like to mention to you that I do have a crochet private group on Facebook. If you do have a profile, then you're more than welcome to join. You have to have a profile because there's a lot of scammers going around into the crochet groups, and I'm removing myself from them and keeping just one or two that I'm comfortable with. Besides that, I'm taking myself off the other ones. There's too much scamming going on. Be careful with the links that says bit on it. Those are fraud scammers that go through your phone if you're using your phone or your computer. You have to be extremely careful. I also have a crochet page. You can follow me through there. It's the same name, Crochet Art Tutorials by Maggie Lopez. And I also like to mention up top, there's 3 little buttons. You can slow down the video to the speed you would like. Right next to it, there's the closed caption. Everything I will say will be written down here. You can pause the video, take notes, and makes it much easier on everybody. If you have a tight stitch, use a hook bigger, one size bigger. If your stitch is too loose, use a hook one size smaller. It helps to create these beautiful patterns. I hope I'm not forgetting anything. Also, I have the PayPal account below in my description box for donations for the women in need of yarn and thread. They're desperately in need. I would appreciate if you guys can help me to get these threads and yarns to these women by donating whatever you feel like. It doesn't have to be millions. Anything counts. Below my video also there's a dollar sign, I think with a little bag or something. That's out of YouTube. These are for the people to help the designers, creators with donations. If anybody is pretending to give me anything, to donate anything for myself by clicking underneath my video where the dollar sign is, I intend to take whatever donations I get for myself and put it towards the women in need. This is my attention to do. I am committed to help these women out, so please help me to help them. Thank you so much. I think I pretty much covered everything. I hope I didn't forget anything. Okay, so let's get started, everyone. So just yesterday I had uploaded these doilies for the night tables, and I had mentioned on that video that I will be creating the long one, which is exactly the same thing. It will just be bigger, longer for the dresser. So that's what we're going to do today. I use 4 ply 100% cotton thread and hook size 3. A pair of scissors, of course, a small one to tuck in loose ends. Now, my 4-ply, I get questioned a lot because, of course, each country has different numbers and different thickness and so on and so forth. Even here, they have different thickness. I have 4-plies here. Some are thicker than others. This 4-ply is almost identical to Aunt Lydia number 3. It's just a little bit thinner, not by much, very, very thin, little. Than Aunt Lydia number 3. So just for the people that keep questioning me, what is referred to my number 4? My number 4 is like Aunt Lydia number 3, a little bit thinner than Aunt Lydia. So it's perfect to do big, doilies, big table runners, even with tablecloths. But with tablecloths, you will have to do a lot of rows because it's not that thick to expand the size, right? But it's perfect for these type of things. Now, for tablecloths and rugs and things like that, you have to go into a 6-ply, which is way much thicker than this 6-ply, 8-ply, 10-ply, which I do use time to time when I'm creating tablecloths and rugs. Because it's, the production it gets bigger faster and you don't use that much thread. This is very thin and very delicate, and it's not heavy. With the 6 and the 8 and 10 ply, these are heavy threads that they don't move when you're creating tablecloths or rugs. I don't have to stick anything in the back of them because they're thick threads. These ones, of course, they're thinner, so just to let you know, because I get questioned a lot on that. I also want to mention that below, I forgot to mention it before, I have my Instagram, TikTok, and of course the Facebook group and the Facebook page. And so you could always click there and join me in and follow me through those things there. Or if you have messages to send me, you can send me through Instagram message. Okay, let's get started, everyone. So I'm going to use this copper, because in camera it looks orangey, but it's not. It's really copper. Okay, and this is going to go for the dresser because the bedroom, the lady has yellow and brown decor, but her yellowish is like a copper yellowish with brown. So I'm going to use this one with the white and the yellow. Now, here on camera, it looks really much like bird yellow, but it's not. It's really a smaller, or how can I say it, lighter yellowish, copperish, but more in the yellow tone than that copper tone. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing I want to do is the slip stitch knot, and I'm starting with my copper because that's how all the other ones are. You don't count this as a stitch. Now I'm going to do 68 chain stitch. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end of my 68 chain stitch. So I have my 68 chain stitch. I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to come back to my fifth, so counting from here, not the one on the needle or the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. On the fifth one, we're going to do double crochet. Now try to grab both loops, because if you only grab the outside loop, it's going to curve. So if you grab right in the center both loops, it's not going to curve. You're going to have a nice straight line. So we're going to continue this all the way to the end, and at the end we're supposed to have 68 double. Okay, so I have 67 on there. And the last one we're going to do 2 chain, and we're going to close it in the 68 with slip stitch. Okay, and I'll tell you why we're doing this. We're doing it like this because we're coming directly into this side. Okay, we're going to go up chain 2, 3 for some of you. Into the next space, we're going to create these double crochets again. So we're going to go all the way to the end with 68 double crochets. Okay, so 1 per space. So we can have it all the stitches facing upright the same way. If we had done the normal double crochet and turned around, we'd have one reversed. So this way they stay straight in the same angle on the right side. Okay. Okay, everyone, so I have 67, and this is my last one. Now I'm going to put my 68 in the same space. Okay, and inside of this last one here, we're going to do 10 double crochets. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now I'm going to do 1 per space again. And when we reach the end, we're going to add 2 on the same space at the end here. And we're going to use the next one to do the 10 double crochets. Okay? But I'll meet you at the end. So I'm on my 66. I'm going to come into the next one here and do my 2 double crochets. 67 and 68. Okay? Now, in the middle one here, right in the center where we went up the 3 chains, we're going to do the 10 double crochets exactly like we did on the other side. Okay, so we have 4, 5, 'So we have the 10 double crochets. I'm going to go into my 3rd chain and slip stitch it in. Now I'm changing colors. I'm going into my white. And I'm just going to pull the leftover string back here. I'm going to go in some of the loops because I'm covering it up with the next row. I'm going to use my white. Okay. So we're going in with the white if you're changing colors. So exactly where we started the 10 double crochets here, we're going to work the first one. And I'm going to use back loop because I want it to be a little bit different to have it stand out. So I'm going to do a single and 2 chain. On the next space, I'm going to do 2 double crochets together using back loop. 2 chain for space separation. Next space, 1 double crochet alone. Next space, 2 together in the same space. 2 chain separation, and we proceed the same way again. So whatever you're doing on this side, you have to do it on the other corner the same way. So we're going to have 6 groups of 3 double crochet, 1 alone, 2 together in the same space, and I'm using the back loops. Okay. Okay, so pretty much did my 6 groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1 alone, 2 together. Chain 2. I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3, and I'm coming in back loop into the 4th. And next space, the same thing. Now, I'm coming into the space here before the double crochet, the empty space. I'm going to give it a stretch and do a diagonal double crochet. 1, 2 chain separation again. 1, 2, 3 on the 4th. Trying to grab both loops back here. And on the next space, double crochet. Diagonal, we're coming back to the empty space here. Give it a stretch, and now you have 2 motifs. 2 chain again. 1, 2, 3 on the 4th. Next space, double crochet. I'm going to come back to the empty space, give it a stretch. I want to grab both loops back here because I don't want it to be pulling. And we're going to do this until we meet the first double crochet inside of the space here. Well, I'll meet you here. You could always fast forward and see if I'm landed right on it, or maybe 1 or 2 before. Okay, so we'll continue on this way. Okay, everyone, so I've almost reaching the end. Now, if I skip 1, 2, 3 on my 4th, I would be creating another one like this, and I don't want to. We have to start with the corner ones. So I have 12 motifs, okay, with the back double crochet, 12. So chain 2, I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3. On my 4th one, I'm doing 1 double crochet. Next space, 2 together. 2 chain. Next space, 1 alone. Next space, 2 together. We're going to repeat the same thing as we did on the other side. So you're supposed to have 6 groups the same way like we have on the other side of the 3 double crochet groups. So always one alone and two on the same space. Next space, one alone, two on the same space, and we continue on. Now I've done my 6 groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to take this last group, okay, and I'm going to skip one and going to the next one, just so it can balance out. Into the next space, the 2 double crochets together. So it's still the same thing, still 6 groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 2 chain. Now these two are lined up right here. I can see where they're lined up, so I'm going to skip this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm coming into my 6th because I want it to be lined up on the same, actually, not even. I'm going to go into my 7th and my 8th space and then come back onto my 6th from here. So it doesn't change anything on the pattern and they stay lined up together. Chain 2, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're coming into the 4th. Next space, and then just the one before that. So you have to have your 12. Same thing as we have here, you have to have it on this one. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so I'm almost at the end. Now my last one, I skipped 1, 2, 3, 4. I came in my 5th and 6th, and then came back and did it, just so we can balance out a bit. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and this would be the 5th one, which we're going to close in with a slip stitch. Okay, so now we're going into row 2 of the white, makes it easier to count that way. Chain 2 for me, chain 3 for some of you. Now I'm grabbing both loops and adding one at the end of the last. We're doing the increase, so we started with 3, now we'll have 4, 2 chain, and continue to proceed the same way on this whole corner, and 2 at the last one in the same space. Okay, and 2 chain separations. So we're going to continue, and then I'll meet you here at the end. So I finished doing my 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, adding 2 on the last double crochet. That gives you a total of 4. Now this is going to be a repeat, chain 2. We're coming into the second one here, not the first, the second, and doing double crochet. The next one, double crochet. And we're coming back to the first one here and closing in with the side cross double crochet. Again, 2 chain on the second one, on the last one, coming in to the first one, give it a stretch like that. And we're going to repeat that all the way around. Coming to the edge here, we're going to add 2 on the last double crochets with 2 chain separation, exactly like we did here. Okay. Okay, so I've closed in with the slip stitch. I'm going to go up again, chain 2 or chain 3 for some of you, and do again. This is no different than row 2. We're repeating the same thing, 1 double crochet per space and 2 on the last one. So we're basically just increasing and continuing to do the same way as we just did on row 2. Okay, so no difference. Add 2 on the same space. So continue, and coming here we're doing the same thing. We're coming in the second one, double crochet and double crochet. Then we're coming back to the first and closing in with the cross double crochet. So I'll meet you at the end of row 3. Hey everyone, so I pretty much finished row 3 of the white, going into row 4 with the yellow. Now row 4, row 5 is exactly the same thing as we did. So we'll repeat the same thing and add 2 at the end. So nothing changes on that. It's exactly the same way as we've been doing. We're just changing colors. So I'm going to come in my first double crochet here, and I'm doing a double crochet just so it doesn't have always that same line, but you can do a single and 2 chain. So on my last one, I'm going to do 2 double crochet. We're continuing the increase, 2 chain separation, and into the next one. So nothing changes, it stays the same. This row 4 and row 5, exactly the same thing, and also row 6. And actually I made a mistake. I'm going to grab it from the back loops already. So back loops. So as you can see here, so row 3, row 4, row 5, row 6, and row 7 is exactly the same thing, always adding 2 at the end. So I'm going to continue mine until the end of row 7, and then row 8 is all double crochets, and we proceed adding 2 at the end the same way. And where we have the 2 chain, we're going to add double crochet, double crochet. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end of row 7, the beginning of row 8, because it's exactly the same way. Okay, so I'll just show you here. I'm using back loops, and I'm still going to do that double crochet, just so I don't think this is too loose. What I do here, too loose. Sometimes you try to get smart on this, but the pattern gets smarter, right? So I'm going to use back loop just so I can have that effect, and try to grab the 2 threads here at the same time. So we're adding 1 at the end. So we started with 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 4, 6, chain 2, and grabbing both loops, but I'm taking the back loops only, just so I can have that effect up front. Okay. And sometimes it doesn't happen to grab both loops. That's okay. Make sure to grab on the next one. All right, so I'll meet you at the end of row 7. Okay, everyone, so I pretty much finished row 7 going into row 8. Very simple. We're just going to do 1, 2, 3 chain for some of you. We're going to do double crochet over double crochet. So very simple. Row 8 is just double crochets all the way around. And on the last one, we're going to add 2 together. Now, where we have the 2 chain here, you could either go under or you go inside of the loop. I'm going inside of the loop, so we're doing 2 double crochets, 1 per chain, and 1 on top of the double crochet from the previous row. So very simple. And adding 2 at the last double crochet, because we still have to continue the increase or our pattern is going to stay very tight and it wouldn't be good. You want your pattern to stay flat. So, and then I'll meet you here. Okay, so when you get to the side, I was continuing. I was so distracted that I forgot that I'm recording. Imagine that. So anyway, so very simple, double crochet over double crochet, where you have the 3 double crochets here. You do the double crochet and 1 inside of the 2 chain space if you're doing inside. If not, you can do in the outside if it's easier for you. And that's pretty much it for this row. So I'm going to continue mine and meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so we finished row 8 going into row 9. One, 2 chain per main, 3 for some of you. So I'm going to do groups of 7 double crochet, 1 per space. So I have 2, 4, 6, and 7. Chain 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3. I'm coming in my 4th one and creating my double crochets. So I'm going to create the 7 groups. It's going to be like this all the way around. Now, it might happen that we get to the end. Either we don't have enough stitch or it's too much. We'll work around it. 2, 4, 6, and 7. There's always ways to work around it. So don't stress over it. Meet me at the end and we'll arrange something in order to fit both sides. Has to have the same amount of loops, and on the edge has to have the same amount of loops. Okay, everyone. So because we are in the corner here, and this is a bigger piece, instead of skipping 4 on the side, we're going to skip, instead of skipping 3 going into the 4th, we're going to skip 4 going into the 5th. Here it's okay with the 4 going into the 4 because we're in a curve. We don't want it to be pulling too much, right? So this one here, we'll still do the 5 chains. Now I'm at the last motive. That means I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is my 7th. Okay, so I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm coming into the 5th one. That's just to make sure that we do have enough space here on the side. Since it's bigger, I don't want them to crumple up. And it's okay to have these ones here on the 4, 2, 4, 6, and 7. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I'm going to skip only on the sides of the pattern, 5. And then the edges, we're skipping only 3 going into the 4th. Okay, but like I said, you could always advance and see where I'm at with it and do yours. You should always look at the video before anyway. You create anything. 2, 4, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. On the 5th one, we're creating the groups. Okay, so at least they give me space from here. They're not, crumpled up. And here, they're not pulling. Okay, so I will meet you here and tell you how many I have of these loops here on the side. Okay. Okay, everyone, so I skipped my last 5. I'm just entering the motive here, and we're only going to skip 3 and go into our 4th. Okay, so very simple. So we have 4, 5, 6, and 7, chain 5, 1, 2, 3 on the 4th one. When they're smaller, like the doilies, the night table doilies, it's not a problem to skip all of them the same way. But when they becomes a bigger pattern, you can't have too much and you can't have too little. It will just not fit into the pattern. 2, 4, 6, and 7. And we're going to continue on. Now I'm going to tell you how many loops I have from one. Okay, so let's say we are counting. Let's say we're well, we can't count this. This is part of the unless you want to count it. Okay, so we'll count right from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so we have 7, or we can actually count just the 6. Okay, so let's say from here, never mind that. We'll pretend this goes there already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 space, right? And then we'll count. Okay, we won't count this one. So we'll count from here to the beginning of this one here. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then we'll have the 6 motives again here. Chains, I should say. Okay, so we'll skip only 4, and I'll come back to you at the end of it and make sure that we got the right amount. Okay, so if we count properly, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, starting from here. So we'll have the right amount. And now we're going to skip the 4 double crochet going into the 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're going to continue. Now hopefully we can have the right amount until the end. In case we don't, we will fix it. No problem, no issues. We just have to have exactly the same amount of the space here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have to have 7. Starting from here is 1 already. So we got to have 7 on this side also. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so we're reaching the end, and so far I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going into my 6th because my 7th is on here already. Okay, because if we count the 6 on the curve, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so we are going into the 6th here on the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, if you look 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that means I would have gotten directly in there. So if you don't want to make it too obvious, because there is a few extra ones, I think 2, 3 extra. So the last one here, we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll go into the 6th one, and it doesn't change anything on the pattern. Okay. So 2, 4, 6, one more, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're coming directly on the last one here. Then I'm cutting my thread and coming in with the copper color. Now, just to show you again, so let's say you're going to put a little marker just to make sure that you're okay. I'm just gonna cut a piece of thread since I don't have markers. So I'm gonna do, let's see, I'm gonna tie here on this first one that I just, well, we just closed the last one there. Okay. So if I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, let's say, and then the next one. So I'll just put my little hook on here. So this is 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is my 7th. Okay. It's just a way for you to know that, you know, you didn't make any mistake. So I'll just put this on here like that. Okay, so I have my 7th on the sides, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So you basically have all of your squares in, so it balances out. Okay, so total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So 24. So I have 24. That means half of it, if you realize, 12 on this side, let's say, and 12 on this side. Doesn't matter if they're not exactly on the right way of pattern, but there's 24 of them, so don't stress. As long as you have 24, you're okay. They don't have to be perfectly lined up. They don't line up anyway. Okay, so now with the copper, going into the next row. Of course, I had to tie my little marker here so tight. Okay, so we're going to go into row 10. I'm going to come in with double crochet right on my, doesn't really matter where you start, but I'm starting off right the first one here. So you can do a double crochet directly or do 1 single and 2 chain. Inside of this space, I'm going to create 7 total of double crochets. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm going to do one more, 8, just to fill it in properly. So I'm going to skip 1, 2, and I'm grabbing back loop, and I'm coming into the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th. So 3 singles. And again, 8 double crochets inside of this loop. So we have 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm going to skip 1, 2. On my 3rd one, I'm using back loops only because I want that little effect. 2 and 3 singles. Coming back in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And again, 1, 2 on my 3rd one. 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to repeat this like that all the way around. Okay, everyone, so we finished row 10, going into row 11. Or is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, row 11. So right in the middle, grabbing back loop, I'm doing a single. And I'm going to do triple crochet, coming from the back to the front of the first double crochet there. Front to the back, I should say. Take out 2, take out 2, and take out 2. 1 chain separation. I'm trying to hide my thread here. And again, from the back to the front to the back. Triple. One chain again. From the back to the front to the back. And again. So very simple, nothing to it. And this is going to give this little cute effect here. And then we have only one more row, which is the picots, the last row. So now I'm supposed to have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm coming into the middle single with a single. And again, repeat the same process. So I'm going to continue mine and meet you at the end. Okay, everyone. So I pretty much closed in the same space on the single that we started with a slip stitch and cut my thread. This is the last row, row 12. And we're doing only picot single. Doesn't matter where you start. I'm right here at the first loop here. Single, 3 chain, and I'm coming in on the first single with should be doing not slip stitch. I'm going to do a single with a single. I'm coming into the next double crochet, single, 1, 2, and 3, and picot again, single, next double crochet, single, 1, 2, and 3, and picot. So now I have 3 picots. Now I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and single, next space, 1, 2, and 3 again, next space, 1, 2, 3 again, and next space, 1, 2, 3 again, and single. So we have 3 singles on this side, 3 picots on this side with 3 chain, 6 chain and 3 chain. Now I'm going to come from the back on my single here and do a 3D front post. Come into my first double crochet again, 1, 2, and 3, and picot, and repeat the same thing all over again. So it's pretty much it for this tutorial. I will have it in display. Of course, this is in order, so my furniture or my decors probably does not match. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, but at least it gives you an idea what it looks like. And then 3 peacocks on this side too. So peacocks with single, and then single on the last one, coming from the back to the front and front post, and directly into the first double crochet. So thank you so much, everybody. This does it for this tutorial. Please don't forget to give a thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next tutorial. Take care of yourselves and each other. Bye-bye, everyone.